Hi everyone, I'm doing my Strong Workforce Faculty Institute Action Plan video, and I'm going to start with the first question that says, in reviewing your data, what did you discover, and did the data reflect things that you already knew, and what surprised you about your data? I always knew I was going to be focused on the retention, enrollment, and success of my African American students. So the data did show that I was a bit lower than the average enrollment in the other accounting classes in the program. So I knew at the start that was something that I wanted to focus on, and I believe it was about 4%, and Mesa runs about 5%. But while I was looking at that data and comparing it to the industry standard, I realized that that's not really representative of the industry. The industry of accounting employs about 9% African Americans. And so if we're looking at 4 or 5% of enrollment in our classrooms, we're not even representative of the industry. And let me remind you or let you know the accounting industry is notoriously Caucasian. Over 73 to 79% of people in the industry are Caucasian. And then there is a 9% African American. And then the way they list the demographics for other races is there's no other race category that is greater than 2% of what's remaining. So you've got Caucasian, African Americans, and then you have everybody else. So my goal is, and what I want to do is have my classroom at least be as reflective of the industry as possible regarding African American students. So that's something that I wanted to look at, and I wanted to look at my action plan is designed to help make the classroom more inclusive in the ways that I can. Another thing I wanted to point out is that the industry is, at this point, the majority of employees in accounting are women. And so white women are especially overly represented. And as a white woman in a program where our other two contract faculty members are also white women, and then we have pretty much everybody else who's teaching accounting is a white male, I think it's important for us to be sensitive to that. So that's where my goal is. So, what I want to do with my action plan is try and encourage people of color and minority students to enroll in these courses or to continue on in accounting and business by creating videos and assignments that help represent these minority potential employees and students in the field. So I have several things in my action plan. One of the first things I did was I introduced an introduction letter this fall. I sent it out. I think I got good feedback on it from students, and they liked that. Additionally, I refurbished my syllabus. I rearranged some things, so maybe some of the more administrative stuff is near the back. The stuff that's really important about the class and what they need to know right from the start is all up front now, so that they don't have to dig through. It's a fairly long syllabus because the course was originally online, and of course it's continued to be online. So I've kind of broken it up into sections so that students can refer to those easily, or they can read it a bit at a time. I have gotten good feedback from that so far this semester, because I haven't had as many questions say, where do I find the passwords for exams, or where do I find the breakdown of the grading, or how do I sign up onto our homework management system. So I've gotten good feedback from that. Additionally, I've changed the images and I started this last summer, but I changed the images on certain discussion board assignments to be more inclusive, more representative. I've also revamped an awesome accounting job assignment that I have, where I've asked students to maybe pick employers that are culturally representative and that they feel are culturally inclusive, or women-run things like that. And those assignments are just getting turned in this week, so I'll be interested to see what the results are for those, and then determine whether I need to revamp those or not. in addition, there's a couple of things that are longer term projects that I'm starting to work on this semester, and then there's one that really needs to wait until after everybody's back in their employer places. One of the first things I want to do is I want to do a day in the life of different accounting type of jobs. So we might have the day in the life of an auditor, or a day in the life of a controller, or a day in the life of a tax accountant, right? And so, but I want the employees, the accountants in those videos to be people of color, women represented in those, so that when we're watching them, it's not just white men and women walking through their day. This one is really going to have to wait until people are back working, because I don't think it would be very effective just to show an accountant sitting at a desk zooming. I think everybody is tired of that. So that's going to wait. I'm going to try and maybe locate some employers this semester. But this way, I think students then can look at those videos and see themselves in those positions. In addition, I've started working on research. Let me go back on those. In the Day of the Life videos, I would like to have some assistance from work-based learning, maybe reaching out, connecting with local employers where we find things, and then help with the video tape process and editing in itself. I think that would be great. And then that would be a resource that everybody could share and use in their classes if they thought that was valuable. For them to use. Or like I say, for the tax classes, if we have somebody doing a day in the life of a tax accountant, then they could maybe use that in that class, or in like the auditing class, things like that, where maybe they can pick and choose so that we end up with this video library. So it looks like probably I won't really begin to do any real videotaping on that until maybe next fall, depending on how COVID works out. All right. So then the last two items that I'm really focused on in this next year is I would like to do a corporation of the week, or maybe corporation of the month to start out with, where I am highlighting corporations that are run by people of color and show those. And that's had led to some really interesting research on my part. Currently, there are only 4 minority CEOs. There were 5, but someone had recently stepped down. And then recently, in the last couple of weeks, we saw a woman get promoted to CEO of a banking institution. And I believe this was the first woman to be appointed to that. So I'd like those to be representative so they can show, so people can look at those videos and see themselves, right? In what is a very hard industry that still isn't minority friendly. So I think if we do that, we can encourage more. So I want to do the corporation of the week, probably of the month to start with, highlighting that. And then for my 116B class, I would like to do a manufacturer of the week. And there I have a little more leeway. And I'd like to really highlight businesses that were started or run by minorities, so that people can see that as well. Because one of my assignments that I have is a manufacturing process where students have to watch movies on those manufacturers. And I was looking through the television show, I referred to them, and it's very unrepresentative of people. A lot of times you don't see the humans in the process at all. So I think that's another way to promote inclusivity and make my classroom more user-friendly. I've also started doing personalized office hours where students can make an appointment to work with me, because I do occasionally find that, especially with Zoom office hours, that students are maybe worried that they might have to wait while somebody else is being taken care of, or that another student can hear what they're asking about. And I've had pretty good response to that so far, and across the board of people participating. If a student does badly on a test this semester, I have started sending out, is everything okay? Is there anything I can help with? or if they've missed a certain assignment that's higher points, just to check in on them so that they know that I'm there and to work on them, especially with COVID. I think that being more understanding is very important, and working with the students in this way, one-on-one through Zoom, seems to be getting better results. So I'm excited to see how things work out. It'll be interesting when we're back on campus, especially with my athletic students. I would like to have a bit better, a more closer tie and relationship with the coaches so that we can work together as a team to help students get through this class, especially when their season is going full on in their training, to help in success in that area also. So I guess when we're looking at when will I implement, some items have been implemented now and they'll be dynamic. I won't be able to assess them really until the end of this semester. And others I'm researching on, like the day in the life videos, that will be for goal next fall. And this year I'm going to research on the corporation of the day and the manufacturer or manufacturer of the week, and then work with getting those highlighted and taken care of. And I might need some assistance with work-based learning on that. And then, like I said, when we're back on campus and when all full activities are going on, I'd like to build some closer ties with, certain departments where we can each focus on the success of individual students. So I'm excited about that. And I learned a lot from the program, and I feel really grateful that I was able to do this. Thank you.